your payload always in the safe lane. So when you need quality tires with reliability at 100%, choose SVG Tire Sales and Services in Kingstown 457-1467 or in Arnesvale 456-6444. SVG Tire Sales and Services. Performance and reliability proven when the rubber meets the road.
99.9 WEFM. WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And as promised, we are back. It's 9:25 and we are here with you on our Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. And at this time, we are doing part 3. Part 3 of this discussion with Dr. Jerrol Thompson regarding the Rayneau Quarry project down at Richmond. And this is our Talk to Us segment, yes?
Of course.
So you are invited to call with your questions. If there's anything that you need clarified, anything that you are maybe not in agreement with Doc with, you can feel free to respectfully share that information or share that comment with us, all right? So phone lines are open. The number to call is 457-9997. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, so we are going to get going at this time. All right.
Somebody on the WhatsApp had a question. So they said, what percentage of the ROI is invested back in SPG? That's one. What percentage of the company management are Vincentians, and are the salaries industry standard?
I had said earlier on that in 2024, $1.1 million in wages and so forth went into that area. And the staffing is going to double as the crushing plant gets going within the next month or so, as they start crushing stone for the port, for the Marriott, for other things like a hospital and for export. They basically are going to double their employment. Yes, sir? No. The salaries are basically industry standards, you know, they are, and persons in the North Leeward who are working there, they're also being trained. Young guys be trained in the use of heavy equipment, bulldozers, all those kind of things. Wonderful aspects, things that they would not have had opportunities before, or they had to leave the area and go to Canawan or Mustique or one of those areas. The return on investment. The question was asked earlier on, has government given Rayneau money? Has government invested in it? The government is not investing in the project with financial resources. It basically has a lease fee. It'll be getting NIS contributions, it'll be getting taxes, all those kind of things and so forth to the process. And it's going to get a discounted rate in terms of stone for its various projects and so forth. Serious discounted in the thing. So the return on investment, the company has to make sure it has a return on investment. This is the fourth going to fifth year of its operation. By the seventh year, there would be a renewal of the lease fee. So I expect that lease fee of $12,000 will jump. You understand? I expect it, which is considered to be small, but I think that will jump because I think that they will return it. The stone at Richmond is such a high quality that other islands and so will be begging to get some of that stone too. Now, I want to just show you something quickly. So the question, the return on investment, that's for the company really to determine, not for the government to determine, but I'm pretty sure.
But do you think that we're actually benefiting given that we have such rich stone that other countries would want to have? Are we actually benefiting? Because it's if you're telling me about employment, people being employed, people being trained, monies that are going to be contributed to NIS, have we given away our gold?
Now, listen to this very carefully. People argue things both ways. They say, This project should never start it for environmental concerns and so forth. Zero. But the same people then go and ask, we should be getting more money for the project and so. They may be right. But the example of the first company, 7-8 years passed and they couldn't get started. For 7-8 years, no lease was paid.
Why couldn't? I know that you spoke about the economic climate at the time. But why couldn't they have gotten started? Because if you're selling
listen, it isn't that the government is giving them money to start. It's that they have to find the money.
The machinery, was it machinery? Because if
what is to buy the machinery, pay staff, do all that available, place a high risk as well.
Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning. I wish Travis Harry could have called in to challenge you, because he used to go down there, is going down there regularly and shoot video and make posts about it. He's done other programs talking about it. I wish he could have called to counter what you say.
Sorry, Queens. Can I just interrupt you for a second? I can tell you that a lot of what Travis has been saying, I have to say this on radio, is false. And you've heard me say, I've shown you a copy of the EIA. I've told you there were consultations. I've said stone is not being removed from the river, and the video you would have seen is not true. I've told Dianna that the muddy waters coming from Peterborough is not from Rayneau. It's coming from an issue that took place in Rose Hall. And I played the video, the sound of another politician who says this project is something that can't really go forward because it will have some political impact. That is, you would know what's called a dog whistle. It's a dog whistle to say, stop this project. Now, I know I've interrupted your time, but I wanted you to be clear on that. You know, that I'm telling that in terms of what Travis has been, my good friend Travis has been showing, is false. You know, right. I'm putting that to you. Sorry, Queen. Sorry,
the PM, you get those paperwork from cabinet?
As usual,
papers that you have.
Jerrol Thompson is foolish. He's stupid. And so therefore, PM write this out for him last night for him to come on the program because Jerrol Thompson is a stupid fool. He's a buffoon. He's a buffoon.
You're not stupid.
Yeah.
You're not stupid.
Jerrol Thompson isn't smart.
So anyway,
is smart enough to come and say anything like this. You know what I mean? I agree to you. I'm not a smart individual. I'm only telling the truth. And the truth doesn't need any smartness or any slick things. I am only telling the truth. Dianna and Rosie are surprised. They're still questioning, I'm sure. I wonder if doctor this EIA.
No, it's not a matter of doctoring the EIA, but it's it's all the other things that are going along with it.
No, but hear what? When people say, irrespective of the EIA was old, when people say there was no EIA done, that's the first red flag.
All right, well, okay, you spoke on that already. Queens, what's your question? What?
His question.
Whatever the PM says gospel, although he says I may lie on matters of natural.
So how does the PM come into this? Oh, the PM was talking about this yesterday or the day before yesterday? Was the PM talking about this a week ago?
Might have given you that information.
Yeah, because the PM.
You don't want to say something different than what the PM says.
spit in my mouth.
The PM you might have gotten the approval from the PM before you give out this information.
You have a direct question.
Yeah, we have a little time.
I was the representative for North.
I'll go.
You have, so that's okay.
Yes,
okay.
All right. Thanks, Queens. All right. Dianna, you have a question there? All right.
So, well, bearing in mind that this EIA is old and is for a company that is not basically not the company that is operating now.
It's not for
that company. Before this, we have let me get this one. So in it says, right, there are no national standards for health and safety. Is that still the case? Do we still not have?
But if you notice, you may have picked it up, but there are lots of standards for other things. But the company is
right.
looking
Okay,
to
so
give
we have a
suits.
caller and
Okay,
using their credit. So
Hi, caller. Good
we'll go
morning.
back to me.
Yes, good morning. Not too long. I just want to ask you one question. Listen, Queen or Queen? Queen, I say. In your life, I don't know how old you be, but you sound like a age of your life. You never tell a lie in your life. That's all I have to ask.
This is for Queens.
You ever tell?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but no, but that's between the PM. You can't. Oh yeah, Dianna, you go ahead.
We
That's
don't have
right.
enough time.
You have
Deal with
enough
the
time.
other question.
Yeah, so the question was because it says there are no national standards for health and safety, but the company plans to walk in whatever. There's another thing here where it says there are no requirements in SVG for businesses to be ISO or HACCP certified. Could you explain those?
No, the HACCP or ISO certified in relation to quarry management and so forth.
Oh, we have
And
another.
Yes, yeah. But basically, they're going to aspire to those things. Go ahead. Yeah.
Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to make a statement or ask a question. I don't know how it should work.
Go ahead.
The EA for the Argyle International Airport was done under the NDP a couple of years ago back. The ULP came into power, decided to use the same study that was done by the NDP back then to do the airport in Israel and Argyle. Every politician from the NDP brag about how the study that the ULP used was the study from them. And that study was older than what the Richmond project is using now. Why was it okay for the Argyle Airport to build off of the study that NDP did, but now it is wrong, which is a shorter time, but is wrong now? I don't understand how one EA could be good and one could be bad, and the distance at time was far more. That's my question I'm asking.
Okay.
Another part of that thing that Jerrol picked, a lot of people missing Leacock part when he said that woman, that $500 passing among women. And that part of it always eat me when I hear that statement. He didn't say it passing around people, it passing around women. It always hurt me when I hear that statement. All right. Thanks,
Kojo.
Interesting.
All right, interesting. But I think, as I told Doc Offe when he asked me the same question, I think it's because there may have been changes to the environment itself after the Soufrière eruption. So that was the reason why I asked if it was still, if it should have been
for all those people not
updated.
All those people not leeward, Roleza said a lot of ash would have fallen, and it did. But I am trying to point out to you that the site had already...
And you know what? It's not just the Asher, because remember we also had other hurricanes and so forth that happened after 2008.
Yes, it is true. But what I'm saying to you, Dianna, is that the planning department has lots of expertise. They take those things into consideration. The EIA...
So was it looked at and revised? You know what? We have a caller.
It was.
Okay, we get it. Sorry, caller. Good morning.
Go ahead, yes.
Good morning, everyone. Good
morning.
Dr. Thompson, you're not a fool. You're already known as the bright boy.
No, I'm not. In the ULP. I just talk the truth sometimes. Yeah? I just talk the truth. I say sometimes, Go ahead anyway. Ask a question.
Yeah, you was known as the bright person in the ULP. Why do you leave then the ULP, and would you put forward yourself again to be a candidate for the ULP? Because right now they are struggling to get candidates.
I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something. People have asked me, why did you leave doctoring? We knew you had a nice practice in New York. Why did you leave New York? I am now at a particular stage in life that I am here on this program. I'm here as a guest of Roleza and Dianna on a Monday morning. I do a Wednesday night program. I do it all free of charge. I do a number of other things. I'm developing a mangrove, a conservation park. I am a conservationist, folks. You know what I mean? But over the years, I want to tell you, I have carried people down to North Leeward as investors when I was minister responsible for industry. I've carried people down there and they've all looked up and seen Soufriere. And people advise that don't go down there. Soufriere might erupt. And I've been worried about the people of Chateaubriand. How can they make a living? Do they always have to migrate and move out? I have been astonished that this year we've seen far more yachts in Chateaubriand Harbor than before. We've seen more visitors to Darview Falls and other places than before. 3 years ago, I carried a company down to Lasham, which is in the Walware, to develop a hotel down there. If they had developed that hotel, guess what? It would have been destroyed by the Soufriere eruption. I am really happy that Rayneau.
All right, Carly, you coming off?
Yeah.
Oh, you're still on the line.
Chief, listen. I am not in the candidacy.
Yeah, I want to tell.
I'm not in the candidacy business. You know what you're saying? I'm not on this radio and so to campaign or anything like that. I'm telling the truth about my experience with the Richmond Quarry. You understand? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they should have a bright person like you back in the party.
And there's plenty bright people there.
That's kind of cool.
There's plenty bright people. Let me tell you something. Lots of bright. Lots of them. Listen, lots of bright people there, boy. Lots of them.
All right, caller. Thank you.
You know,
okay.
All right,
Brewster, nice bright people there, man.
All right. So let me get this question in. Yeah. So how long is Rayneau their lease? I know you said it's being renewed after the 7th year?
The release is for 30 years, but the financial aspect is looked at after 7 years. So there's some people who would say that the amount they're being charged for the lease is, remember, the first year, second year, third year, they're making no money, fourth year, they're making no money. The fifth year, they might have exported a bag with some boulders and so forth.
But how is it you're saying that they're not making any money? If a company was there previously and Rayneau came with all of their equipment, how they weren't making money? And what was
No, they're going to make money. They haven't been making any money yet because they've had to spend. They've been there for 4 years. They've had to spend money on the whole excavation site without any income coming in. So they have to have investment money to buy the equipment, get the badge, buy a badge, build a jetty, all those sort of things they have to do. That is a lot of money, right? So at some point in time, they are going to have to start getting that ROI, return on investment. They are going to have to start, the question that was asked earlier on, they're going to have to start making some money. They have shipped away 2 barges, one over some stone and so on. But that's not crushed stone. It's really the crushed stone that I think is going to make money, not boulders and so forth.
Right.
You know?
Dianna, I have other questions. But Dianna, you have any more?
Okay, well, I want this is for the other company, right? But it says the company proposes to negotiate the following fiscal incentives with the government of SVG. A, exemption from payment of import duties on all plant, machinery, equipment, and general infrastructure for 10 years. Exemption from the provision of the value-added tax legislation in respect of capital investment on all plants, machinery, equipment, spare parts, communication equipment, safety equipment, general infrastructure up to commencement of operation. And C, exemption from payment of corporate tax for 10 years. Does this apply to Rayneau as well? Because
I'm not sure about the corporate tax for 10 years, but in terms of the other fiscal incentive, absolutely. Because so in terms of getting in the equipment, that is not really a big deal. And in addition, the company, one of the parent companies in St. Lucia and Economic Union and so forth, stuff coming in from St. Lucia to St. Vincent has some provisions and so forth because of OECS economic unity. But I can double check on to you on terms of the corporate issue. I'm not sure if that would have been something that absolutely passed. They plan to negotiate all those things and whether they think. But however, after 7 years, these things are negotiated, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be some increase in the thing. But you can kill a company with all the initial license fees and so forth and all the kind of thing that they may not have the resources. Luckily, Rayneau has the resources. Carib Sandstone did not have all the resources, the
And,
financial resources.
and that company, were they a local company?
No, that was a Dominican and a thing. But other companies bid. Dipcon is now considered a local company. They're really from overseas. And RG, which is a Trinidad company, was the other company. We belong in CARICOM. And it's nice if a Vincentian company could do everything. But sometimes they don't have the financial depth to do it and do it properly, to meet all the standards, to give all the workers the gears they need, the boots and everything, the safety, the features and so that's needed according to the standards, which they will have to abide with. The planning department is monitoring them.
All right.
And so forth.
Yeah. So I suppose I am not opposed to foreign companies necessarily coming here and setting
a
up
lot
shop,
of people
right?
are. A lot of people
what
are.
I'm saying, what I will say is, are we actually reaping benefits to it? Yeah. If you're telling me the benefits is employment, training, and NIS, given what you've seen in terms of you've put our stones up on this pedestal, are we actually benefiting significantly from a country standpoint with regards to this? Let me just try
I've got to answer that question here, because this is going into the 5th year of operation, and it's renegotiated after 7, another 2 years to renegotiate the prices. I'm pretty sure that it will go up. It's been said so and things like that. But don't kill the goose. Don't kill the goose before it's laid an egg. Yes, Anne?
All right. So my final question, because we really do have to step out, is with regards to tourism. Now, we know that quarrying tends to scar the earth, right? And once you scar the earth, it's very difficult to come back from that. We have looked at North Leeward, and you yourself have said that you've taken persons down there for investment. You've mentioned a number of yachts that are in harbor. Is it a case where it is these having the quarry down there or having the operations down there? Is this going to affect the tourism industry for North Leeward? And does Rayneau have plans in place, or whoever have plans in place for after they're leaving or when they are leaving? Yes. How is it that they are going to put our country back to the beautiful state it was before they came?
Thank you. Such a brilliant question. Earlier on, I passed to both of you what's called an environmental management plan that addresses what they're supposed to. Now, that's a picture of the quarry I just said. Dianna, look at that. I want you to look over on that right-hand side. And if you notice that whole terracing, that's how it's done. On top of that used to be a steep slope with some vegetation sticking out. They'd be using topsoil, putting it back on those little ledges and planting plants there. If you notice right around the perimeter, they've built a berm that's some 30 feet high of soil. You know what I mean? The same soil that was in the thing, so that it reduces visibility of the crushing plant, which may be a little ugly. You know what I mean? But it also reduces the noise and reduces the dust. They have a sprinkler system to help reduce the dust. Many people during the consultation we had thought that with these quarries, you have a massive explosion and stone is falling on top of people's head, chopping people. The stone is too precious for that. What they do is that they use explosive, a mechanical device, to crack the stone. Then they extract it and take it to crush. Minimal, you ain't evaporating that stone and turn it into dust. That's too much of a loss. That's waste, So the management, I show you a picture there to show you the management of the site. And that's where they have so far. They're going to be setting up the crushing plant, the early start of the crushing plant. And I wanted to show you that terracing that's been done. And during the consultation in 2012, 2013, those other people explained to us why that terracing is done. And the idea is that you're never going to get it back to its original 100% pristine environmental condition, but you're going to try to get close to it. Yes, Anne? Right. You know what I'm saying, Dianna? You won't get to 100%, and that's the truth, but basically you're going to try and get a lot closer to it.
All right, so we are going to have to absolutely end this segment at this time. I feel Dianna and I would need a road trip with Doc to see things for ourselves, to form our own opinions.
I'm taking
Because
the
while I am
names
listening
down.
to Doc, it's not that I don't believe him, but I like to see things for myself.
Let me
You want to be on the
I don't
ground.
want to be the driver, so Doc will carry Dianna and I don't
Let me say a few quick words. This environmental impact assessment is real. It was not an assessment only done on Larry Kai, as some people say. Some people may say it's old, but the EIA was used to give what's called quarry approval since 2013, 2014. The company couldn't make it. They put out a bid for another company. The view is there's no need for a new EIA because this was also been done before Soufrière erupted. If Soufrière erupts, we do an EIA in the whole of St. Vincent. You know what I mean? EIAs was done on a hospital. EIA was done on several places. They're not necessarily repeated just because of Soufrière eruption. Your guidelines,
but they can be amended and updated.
They can be amended and updated based on the planning department having a firm understanding of the project which it has had for the last 15 years. Ladies and gentlemen, stone is not being removed from the river. There is no treaty and so forth, all kind of thing that is in place.
And the farmers who are displaced are gainfully employed.
But as you mentioned that, this thing, we live in it. This thing had said that it will not eliminate farming activities except on a very limited scale at the foot of the ridge to be mined. Farming activities outside the 1 kilometer zone will be totally unaffected.
If you notice, there's a river.
We gotta go. So
there's a river that runs. There's a river that runs through it. There are farms on the other side of the river. Farms on the other side of the river. Matter of fact, many of the farmers who were there have been moved to the other side of the river.
Right.
I mean, truthfully, they do not have the same amount of land because the amount of farmers and the remaining land that was spare, they could not all get the same amount of lands that they had.
All right,
but
absolutely.
Farmers. So sorry about this. I mean,
we're late.
I just want to tell the truth. That's all I wanted. I want to tell the truth, and I'm hoping that I can show Roleza and Dianna the truth.
Just say when.
Just when I will.
We organize the snacks and we're going road trip.
I'll work this out.
All right.
We'll work it out.
All right. So that concludes our interview/discussion with Doc this morning on the Rayneau Quarry, Rayneau Quarry at Richmond. And we being very specific, right?
No, I like what you've been doing, Roleza. Before you were saying the Richmond Quarry and the quarry issues. Now you've left off the quarry.
No. Don't try that.
It.
Do not try that with me this morning.
Has come some distance.
Do not try that with me. The Rayneau Quarry at Richmond.
Right. But before you should say and quarry issues. But now I think that you've softened a little bit.
I am giving you the bombastic side eye. We are side eye. Oh, Doc, come we go.
We gotta end.
All right. So we are going to head on out at this time and